Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Adam Asnam. So, let's take a look at the introduction. China is located in East Asia along the western shore of the Pacific Ocean, featuring a vast and diverse landscape. China's population stands at approximately 1.4 billion people, making it one of the largest consumer markets on the earth. The concentration of wealth and consumption remains incredibly dense in major Tier 1 and Tier 2 urban areas like Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou, and Hangzhou. This massive, digitally connected population forms the backbone of the country's hyperactive domestic commerce. China's economy is a global powerhouse, representing the world's second-largest economy by nominal GDP, which is the gross domestic product, and also a dominant player in global trade. It is highly diversified, upper-middle-income market with massive strengths in advanced technology, industrial manufacturing, and artificial intelligence, supported by a booming domestic e-commerce and live stream retail sector. The purpose of the study is to analyze the application of microeconomic concepts, which is the demands, supply, pricing strategies, and consumer behavior within China's booming beauty and cosmetic industry, focusing on domestic skincare giants like Roya. The scope of the study covers China's economic background along with an in-depth evaluation of market elasticity, consumer utility, distribution theory, and resource allocation efficiency within the sector.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. Let's take a look at type of economic system in China. China operates under a mixed economic system which plan markets-driven activities with strict government planning and intervention. Individuals and private enterprise can own property, as business, and make independent production decisions across various sectors. They serve as a major contributors to economic growth and job creation. The government maintains extensive control over vital strategic industries such as banking, energy, telecommunications, transportation, and infrastructure, through state-owned enterprise, strict regulation, and national plans. The state provides core public service like roads, railways, healthcare, education, and public security. Government intervention is utilized to maintain overall economic stability, minimize regional inequalities, and achieve national development objectives. Let's take a look at background of product Proya Cosmetic. Proya, founded in 2003, Proya is a leading Chinese skincare brand that combines marine-inspired ingredients with advanced science to target hydration, brightening, and anti-aging. Driven by continuous research and a mission to make high-performance skincare accessible, the brand is highly popular for its signature Ruby series, which promote youthful and radiant skin. Today, Proya is expanding globally as a trusted symbol of Chinese beauty innovation, focused on enhancing confidence and celebrating natural beauty. Next, let's take a look at factors affecting demand of skincare in China. The first factor is consumer income, and higher income increases purchasing power and demand. Lower income force consumers to switch to cheaper alternatives. The second factor is consumer taste and preference. Demand rises as a consumer prioritize skin health, and favor science-backed, skin barrier-focused product. And last but not least, price of related goods. If competing brands raise their prices, Proya becomes more attractive and demand goes up. If competitors lower prices, Proya's demand falls. So, I have talked about factors affecting demand of skincare in China. So right now, I'm going to talk about factors affecting supply of skincare in China. The first factor is a production cost, and higher costs, which is raw materials, packaging, wages, or transport, lower profit margins and decrease supply, while lower costs increase it. The second factor is production technology. Advancement in modern machinery, automation, and skincare technology lower costs and boost productivity and increasing supply. And last but not least is a number of producers. More companies entering the market increase the total supply of skincare products, while fewer producers reduce it. Alright, moving on to market equilibrium. Based on the market equilibrium shown, a surplus happens in the market where the quantity supplied exceeds the quantity demanded. For 380, The quantity demanded is 5,000 pieces, but the quantity supplied is 50,000 pieces. A surplus of 10,000 pieces happened in this situation. For 180, the quantity demanded is 15,000 pieces, but the quantity supplied is only 5,000 pieces. A shortage of 10,000 pieces happens in this situation. The market equilibrium is at a price of 280, where the quantity demanded and supplied are both exactly at 10,000 units. Price will decrease when there is a surplus or increase when there is a shortage until the market reach equilibrium. Alright, so we're going to talk about recent change in market equilibrium. In previous years, the increase in consumer income causing the demand for skincare increase and the demand curve to shift rightwards, as you can see at the graph. As a result, the equilibrium price and quantity will rise towards new equilibrium level.
Next, I will explain the price elasticity of demand and the price elasticity of supply for Proya skincare products. First, let's look at the price elasticity of demand, or PED. The PED value for Proya is 0.6. Since the value is between 0 and 1, the demand is inelastic. This means that the quantity demanded changes less than the price. For example, if the price increased by 1%, the quantity demanded will decrease by only 0.6%. This shows that the change in demand is smaller than the change in price. If the price decreased by 1%, the quantity demanded will increase by around 0.6%. So, whether the price goes up or down, the change in quantity demanded is still relatively small. Now, let's move on to the price elasticity of supply, or PES. The PES value is 1.32. Since the value is more than 1, the supply is elastic. This means that the quantity supplied changed more than the price. For example, if the price increased by 1%, the quantity supply will increase by about 1.32%. If the price decreased by 1%, the quantity supply will also decrease by around 1.32%. When we compare both value, we can see that demand and supply respond differently to price changes. The PED of 0.6 shows that quantity demanded changes by a smaller percentage than the price, so the demand is inelastic. Meanwhile, the PES of 1.32 shows that the quantity supplied changed by a larger percentage than the price, so the supply is elastic. In short, Proya has inelastic demand and an elastic supply. This means that demand changed only a little when the price changed, while supply changed more when the price changed. This elasticity value helps us understand how demand and supply respond price change in the market. That's all for the elasticity of demand and supply.
Good day everyone, today I will be presenting the key factors that influence the price elasticity of both demand and supply, using Proya as a practical example to help illustrate these concepts. Let's start with the demand side, where the first key factor is the availability of substitute goods. In the beauty and skincare market, consumers have plenty of choices. Because there are so many alternative products available, the price elasticity of demand for Proya is highly elastic. If Proya increases its prices, consumers can easily switch to a competitor's product, and vice versa. The second demand factor is whether a product is a luxury or a necessity. Proya products are generally categorized as luxury or comfort goods rather than essential daily necessities. Because of this, consumers have the flexibility to postpone their purchases if price rise, which ultimately contributes to a more elastic demand. Now, let's shift our focus to the supply side. The first factor influencing supply elasticity is the change in the cost of production. This directly affects how firms react to market changes. Because when production costs fluctuate, it impacts how easily and quickly a firm can adjust, increase or decrease its output in response to price changes. Lastly, technology plays a major role in supply elasticity. Improvement and advancement in production technology allow firms to increase their output much more quickly. This efficiency makes it significantly easier for producers to respond to any changes in market price.
Today, we are looking at microeconomic concepts in China's cosmetic market using Proya as a case study. First, let's look at consumer behavior. Chinese consumer follow utility theory, aiming to maximize their satisfaction within their budgets. When buying skincare, they heavily weight price, ingredients, and brand reputation, and their choices are strongly driven by online reviews, social media, and live stream shopping. This consumer demand directly ties into the theory of distribution in the labor market. In a perfectly competitive market, individual employers and workers are wage takers with no power to set rates on their own. Instead, the wage rate is entirely determined by the broader focus of market demand and supply. Companies will hire workers right up to the point where the marginal revenue product of labor equals that market wage rate. Next, let's ground this theory by looking at Proya Cosmetics. The cosmetics industry in China perfectly mirrors a competitive labor market because there are many competing firms and a large pool of available workers. Because employees can easily move between companies for better opportunities. Wages are market-driven and naturally stabilized where the demand for labor equals to supply. However, wages are not identical across the board, and four key factors influence this difference. This difference. First and second are skill and productivity. Specialized roles at Proya, like cosmetic scientists, R&D specialists, and digital marketers, earn higher salaries than general production workers due to their advanced knowledge. Third is labor demand. During major shopping festivals like Singles Day, consumer demand spikes, forcing companies to increase hiring and offer higher wages. Fourth is labor supply. While general workers are abundant, highly qualified chemists and brand managers are scarce, forcing companies to offer premium salaries to attract them.
Now, I would like to conclude our presentation on Proya Skincare and China's economic system. Throughout this presentation, we have learned that China has a mixed economic system which combines both government involvement and private sector's activities. This type of economic system allows business like Proya to operate in a competitive market while still being influenced by government policies and regulations. As a result, companies may have opportunities to grow, innovate, and expand both domestically and internationally. We also found that Proya has become one of the leading skincare brands in China because of its commitment to product quality, continuous innovation, and strong consumer trust. The company has successfully built a positive brand image which helps it attract and retain loyal customers. This strong reputation gives Proya a competitive advantage in the skincare industry. Next, we discuss the factors that influence the demand for Proya products. Demand is affected by several factors, including consumer income, consumer preference, and the price of related products. When consumers have high income, they are generally more willing to spend on premium skincare products. Additionally, changing beauty trends and increasing awareness of skincare also encourage more people to purchase Proya products. From the supply analysis, we found that the quantity supplied is higher than the quantity demanded, creating a surplus in the market. A surplus occurs when producers supply more products than consumers are willing to buy at the current price. If this situation continues, company may need to reduce price, introduce promotional campaign, or adjust production levels to reduce excess inventory. We also learned from the elasticity analysis that Proya's demand is inelastic, meaning customers remain loyal even when price increases slightly. At the same time, the supply is elastic, allowing producers to increase production quickly whenever price become more profitable. This combination supports the company's long-term growth and market competitiveness. Lastly, we discuss the labor market in China. Wages are determined by the demand and supply of labor. When there is a high demand for skilled workers but limited labor supply, wages tend to increase. On the other hand, if there are many workers competing for the same jobs, wages may remain lower. This labor market mechanism plays an important role in supporting economic growth and business performance. In conclusion, our analysis shows that Proya has a strong position in China's skincare industry due to its high-quality products, loyal customer base, and efficient product system. This strength allows the company to adapt to market change and remain competitive in the long run. That is all from our presentation. Thank you for your attention.